Hello students, today we will start the revision work and we will revise the chapter number 1, that is computer system overview. So we will start the revision with the brief notes of this chapter. So firstly we will revise the definition of the computer. So student, all of you know that what is a computer. Computer is an electronic device that accept input from the user, process the input according to the instruction and convert it into the output, and we can save the output for the future use also. So we can see it in the future. We can store the output for future purpose on the secondary storage devices just like CD, DVD or hard disk. Now after that we will discuss the data and information. So students, raw facts or numbers are known as the data. You know what is raw number? The number or the fact that will not provide any type of information, that is known as the data. And information, processed data is known as the information. When data is converted into a meaningful information in a meaningful context, then it is known as the information. Now here is the basic computer organization chart, students. So first of all, computer is divided into two parts, hardware and software. So we can say in brief that computer is a combination of both hardware and software. Both plays a equal role for the computer system. So there is no use of hardware without software, and there is no use of software without hardware. And all input, output and storage devices comes in the category of the hardware. And software, basically it is divided into the three parts: system software, that's the base of the computer system, then application software that is used to perform specific tasks, then after that utility software. So both system software and application softwares are mandatory to run a system, and utility software is not the mandatory system to run the system, but it is used to enhance the performance of the system. Now system software is further categorized in four categories: operating system, language processor, device driver, BIOS, basic input output system. Now after that, language processor is of three types: assembler, compiler, interpreter. And application software is divided into the main two categories: general purpose application software and specific purpose application software. Now we will discuss it one by one. So first of all, hardware and software. A computer is a combination of both hardware and software. Both plays a equal role for the computer system. Hardware, the part of the computer that we can see or touch, are known as the hardware. All input, output and storage devices just like keyboard, mouse, monitor, CD, DVD, pen drive, hard disk, all these comes in the category of the hardware. Software, it is a set of programs, it is a set of instructions that is given by the computer to a that is given by a user to a computer. And we can see that Windows, MS Word, Tally, all these comes in the category of the software, but in the different categories of softwares. Now here we will discuss the functional components of computer. So the functional unit of the computer, the first unit that perform function, that's the input unit, and all input devices comes in the category of the input unit, and this unit is used to give instructions or input to the computer system. And after given the input or instruction to the computer, that is processed by the CPU. Here CPU stands for central processing unit, and this CPU is a combination of three units: CU, control unit, ALU, arithmetic and logic unit, and third one is the memory unit. The work of the CU is to control the all hardware devices that it attached to the computer system, and all it is used to control all the instruction that is given to the CPU by the input devices, and all arithmetic and logical work is done by the ALU, and the storage of the instructions or storage of the file folders are handled by the memory units, and after processing the instruction is given to the output unit, and all the output devices comes in the category of the output unit, just like printer, plotter, speaker, projector, etc. comes in the category of the output unit. Now here we will discuss the computer working flow. All of us know that computer works with the help of the IPO cycle. So basically, what is the IPO cycle? Computer follows the IPO cycle. IPO stands here input, process and output. This is a cycle of the working of the computer. So firstly, input is given to the computer, then it is processed, and after processing, input is converted into the output. And we can store our data in two types of memory: primary memory or secondary memory. Primary memory is a temporary memory, and secondary memory, if we want to store our data for permanently basis, then we have to store it in the secondary storage devices. Now after that, input output unit. So input unit, all devices that is used to give input to the computer comes in the input unit. Output unit, all devices that is used to present the output to the user comes in the category of the output unit. Now here we can see the all input devices, that keyboard, that is the most common input device, graphic pads, webcam, scanner, joystick, mouse, digicam, trackball, microphone, all these comes in the category of the input unit. Now here is a description, brief description of the input devices. Keyboard, with the help of the keyboard we can give the input to the computer by pressing the keys. Now mouse, it is a pointing device. It is used to control the cursor position on the screen. Scanner, it is used to scan the document, file or image and insert into the computer system. OMR, it stands for optical mark recognition or reader. So this device is used to read the marked area. OCR, optical character reader, it is used to read the print text on the documents, and this input device is used to recognize or read the characters. MICR stands for magnetic ink character reader. This device is used mainly in the banks. We have discussed that it is used to read only the character that is written by the special magnetic ink. Microphone, if we want to give the input in the audio format, then we have to use the microphone. Webcam, it is used to give the input as an image to a computer. Graphic tablet, if we want to give the input by drawing on something, then this tablet is used to draw something that is entered as an input into the computer system. Trackball, it's also a pointing device just like a mouse. It is used to control the cursor position. Barcode reader, it is used to read the barcode and insert the information like price, manufacturing, etc, etc. And gamepad, it is also known as the joypad, and it is also the input controller for the video games. Joystick, it is also a playing game device. It's also like a stick type device that is used to give input to the computer while children are playing the games. Here we can see the all types of the output devices, just like monitor, printer, plotter, speaker, etc, etc. So output devices, very most common output device is the monitor. If you want to produce the output in the sound format, then speaker is used. And if you want to display the output on the screen or a wall, then we have to use a projector. Now printer, if we want the hard copy form of the output, then we have to use a printer. And plotter is also works like a printer, but if we want the printout on the big size paper or with the best graphic quality, then we have to use a plotter in place of printer. Here we can see the all secondary storage devices that is used to store the data permanently, and these secondary storage devices are portable. We can move these storage devices from one place to another place very easily. Now here we will discuss the software. So first of all we will discuss the system software. System software is the base for the application software. It creates a platform for the application software. So system software is an intermediator between the user and the hardware. If the user wants to work with the hardware, then a system software is used to give the instructions to the hardware. So Windows, Unix, Linux, and Solris, all these comes in the category of the system software. So if we want to use any type of software on the system, so firstly we have to install the operating system that comes in the category of the system software. Now operating system, here operating system is also known as a resource manager because it is used to manage the all resources of the system. And we can give the example just like Windows, Linux, Mac, Ubuntu, all these comes in the category of the operating systems. Now language processor. So students, all of we know that computer knows only the machine language, zeros ones language, and now we are working on the high level languages. So to convert the high level languages into the machine language and vice versa, which software is required? That is a language processor. So three types of language processors are available: assembler, compiler, interpreter. All these language processors are inbuilt in the system. So assembler is used to convert the assembly language into the machine language, means computer's language, and both compiler and interpreter are used to convert the high level language into the machine language and vice versa. So next, device driver. Was the use of the device driver software? It is used to ensure the proper functioning of a particular device. So students, when we will purchase any new device from the market, then a CD come with it. That CD is known as the driver CD of that device. So before working with that device, we have to install the driver of that device. So the device driver software is used to ensure the proper functioning of a particular device, or we can say it plays the role of the intermediator between the device and the operating system, because to perform the work of that device, the operating system gives instructions. So to communicate the operating system with that device, device driver software is used. Now after that, application softwares. So what is application software, students? Application software is used to perform any specific task, just like if you want to create a document, if you want to create a PPT. So for the specific task we have to use the application software. Basically it is of three types: general purpose application software, specific purpose application software, and customized software. So in general purpose application software, any software that is used by any student, teacher, by shopkeeper for the business purpose, or we can use the general purpose application software in schools, colleges, universities, in shops, etc., etc. And specific purpose application software is used by a specific category of person and by the for the specific uses, just like the weather forecasting software is used only by the scientist, and the tally software is used by the only the people who have the knowledge of the accounts. And the customized software, just like customized software that is developed or designed by the special requirement. So we can see the Chinar application software is the example of the customized software, because that is developed by our requirement, according to our requirement. So especially it is designed for the Chinar public school. So the Chinar app comes in the category of the customized softwares. So utility software class, already I told you that it is not a mandatory software, but it is used to enhance the computer's performance, or it is used for the smooth functioning of the computer system. So antivirus and disk defragmenter are the example of the utility software. So antivirus is not the mandatory for the system, but if we want the smooth functioning of the computer, better performance of the computer system, so such type of softwares is required by us. After that, we will discuss the memory units of the computer system. So students, bit is the smallest individual unit of saving a file. So after that, nibble is a combination of 4 bits, and byte is a combination of the 8 bits. So after that, kilobyte is a combination of 1024 bytes. Megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, petabyte, exabyte, zettabyte, yottabyte. So all comes in the category of the memory units of the computer system. Here, bit is the smallest unit. Nibble is a combination of 4 bits, and byte is a combination of 8 bits. So students, bit is the smallest unit to save the memory. Now here we will discuss the computer memory. It is the computer memory is divided into 2 parts, primary memory and secondary memory. Primary memory is known as the temporary memory of the system, and secondary memory is known as the permanent memory of the system. RAM, it stands for random access memory, and ROM, it stands for read only memory. So students, RAM comes in the category of the temporary memory. Before saving the file, it remains in the RAM. It is a temporary storage, it is a temporary memory, and if we use the save command to save the file, then it will transfer into the secondary memory, that is known as the permanent memory, and our file is saved on the hard disk. Okay, so students, secondary memory is of different types, just like floppy disk, hard disk, CD, compact disk, DVD, digital versatile disk, pen drive, etc. Here ROM is the exception, because I told you that primary memory is the temporary memory, but ROM is the example of the permanent memory, because ROM is read only memory and user can't write anything on the ROM. It is only written by the manufacturer of the system at the time of the manufacturing. So student, ROM is the exception of the primary memory. Now after that, we have to discuss that RAM, it stands for random access memory. ROM, it stands for read only memory. Now here are the generation of the computers from it's a description of the from first generation to the fifth generation of the computer, and nowadays we are living in the fifth generation of the computer, and that fifth generation is known as the artificial intelligence is, and robotics is a very good example of the artificial intelligence. Now here we will discuss the very last topic of this chapter, that is the data deletion and recovery. So students, all of you know that 2 types of threats. The major threat that is associated with the digital data is the deletion of data, and that deletion of data is possibly accidentally or intentionally. Accidentally it is deleted by the user, or intentionally it is deleted by the hacker or hacked by the hacker. So it is required to recover the data. So what's the process for the recover of the data recovery? So it is a process of retrieving the deleted or corrupted data and lost data from secondary storage devices. So it is advised that we have to store our data on the secondary storage devices for the recovery of that data, and we have to follow the some security concerns, just like we have to give the limited access to our computer system, so that we no one can destroy our data, delete our data intentionally, and we have to encrypted our files to protect them from unwanted modifications. So important files we have to save by using the encryption technique, and we have to use a strong password technique, so that unauthorized user can get access on our system or steal our information. So we have to follow that.